Welcome to part 2 of installing the CIC system in my BMW E90. So part 1 was the entire system overview where you guys saw the head unit, you saw the dashboard, you saw the screen, you saw everything that is necessary for the system. In part 2 we're going to be removing the entire dashboard. I decided to make it into separate parts so that you guys can see exactly which step you need so you don't have to scrub through the entire video. Also, removing the dashboard is a very intricate job. So I decided to make it its own video just so you know exactly what you're in for. My name is Prashant and I am a total idiot because I did the entire dashboard removal only to realize that the microphones that I'm using were turned off. So this is exactly why we're going through everything today so you guys can follow along. So yeah, without further ado guys, let's get into today's video, which is removing the dashboard. The first thing you want to do is to make sure that the battery in your vehicle is disconnected. Now I made sure I disconnected the battery well before I even started, so which is what exactly you guys are seeing now. Grab yourself an Allen key and pry open the airbag. You'll see there's two little divots on the side of the airbag or the side of the steering wheel that allow you to open up the airbag. Once the airbag is removed, you can use the flathead screwdriver and pry open the clips that hold the cables in place, and you can set the airbag aside. Here's a close-up demonstration how the airbag spring system operates. Insert the Allen key in and press in the springs and that will release the airbag. Once you're there, you can disconnect the airbag cables and the multifunction steering wheel cable. Next, grab yourself a 16mm socket, a socket extension and a long power bar to undo the steering wheel. The steering wheel is torqued to 68 Newton meters, so it is fairly tight. Once that's done, you can remove the steering wheel. Thereafter, take a flathead screwdriver or pry bar set or interior trim tool set and remove the steering wheel cover. With the clock spring still attached to the steering column, you can remove the two cables that connect to the steering angle sensor and the clock spring itself. One is a latching plug and one is a normal press-in plug. Now to remove the clock spring, it is 4 T25 screws that it needs to come out, and thereafter the clock spring can be removed. With the steering wheel and clock spring out of the way, use a T10 to remove the two screws that hold the cluster in place. Unplug the cable from the back of the cluster and set it aside. Get yourself an interior pry tool and remove the side vent. Be careful not to break the clip like I did. With the vent out of the way, you can pull the headlight switch out of the way and undo the cable and set it aside. This is a closer look on how the latching cable works. Now there are 3 T20s underneath for the footwell cover. Remove that and set it aside. Optionally, you can also remove the side trim. It's not necessary, but you can have it done. Moving over to the passenger side, it's now time to remove the main center trim. Grab from both ends with the pry tool as well, and you can remove the trim. To get the hazard switch out, it's best you put your hand from the back of the switch. You can push the buttons out of the way so you can get access to the cables. There are two cables on the hazard switch. Here's a closer look on how to remove the starter button. There's two pinch tabs on each side of the ribbon cable. Be careful you don't break the cable. Press those two tabs in, wiggle it out and set it aside. Next, you're going to grab your interior pry tool again and remove the cover that covers the screws for the cup holders. Next, remove the cup holders. In my case, it was T20s. There's two T20s on each cup holder. Yours may be different. Just be aware of that. For the bottom footwell cover, it's 2 Phillips heads. It was on my car, yours may be different as well. Next, we're going to remove the glove box, and we're going to remove the glove box completely, not just the lid itself. So open up the glove box, you'll see 6 T20s that hold the glove box with the chassis in place. Remove that and watch, there will be cables attached to it. Once you have the glove box removed, you can undo all of the cables and set the glove box aside. Now we're going to move to the climate control faceplate. Use your interior pry tool and try and wiggle it out of the way. There are 2 cables on the climate control system, one black plug and one white plug. Next is 2 Phillips head screws that hold the head unit in place. Undo those Phillips head screws, as well as 4 T20s that hold the head unit chassis in place. Undo the antenna cable and the quad lock that attaches to the head unit. At the bottom of the chassis, there are 2 8mm screws. You need to remove that as well. With that removed, you can remove the chassis out of the way. In my haste, I forgot to remove the key fob reader. You undo the key fob reader cover with the interior pry tool, and there's 2 T20s that hold the reader in place. Undo the ribbon cable and set the cable aside. Next, to remove the center console, you're going to use the interior trim tool to remove the center console trim, pull it up from the side and move it out of the way. Put the vehicle into neutral, press the unlock button on the selector and pull it up. You don't have to remove the selector trim, but it is advisable. If you can get away with it. Undo the 12-volt cable and you can set the trim aside. There will be 2 long 10mm screws that affix the center console to the body. At the back of the center console, there will be 2 10mm nuts that hold the center console to the body as well. Remove those. Advisable to remove the handbrake boots and move the center console backwards. You don't have to remove it all the way, just a little bit to the back. On the passenger side, there are 2 cables that are fixed to the airbag. One is a green plug and one is a black plug. Same principle as the steering wheel. Undo those cables and set those aside. Grab a flathead screwdriver and remove the covers for the A pillars. It's 1 T20 that holds the A pillar in place. Do that for both sides. Then you can remove the A pillar cover. Mine is a bit stuck because when I had the windscreen replaced, the glue stuck itself to the A pillar cover. Now you can use your T20 screwdriver and bit to remove the screws, the remainder screws that hold the dashboard in place. There are 2 on the driver's side, one at the top, one at the bottom. There's one in the middle of the dashboard, one on the passenger side, and a 10mm screw that holds the dashboard in place. Don't forget the little cable that fits to the sensor in the middle of the dashboard. That's what caught me out. Now with everything out of the way, you can remove the dashboard out of the car. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like to show your support and leave your comments and feedback in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think so far and if this is something that you would actually want to be doing in the future. I could have went and did the easy way out and just went and got some Android unit and just cut open the dashboard, but I wanted to have a full iDrive system so that it is as OEM as possible. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in part 3 where we will be installing the CIC system, and in part 4 I'll be showing you guys how to code it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up with this entire system install, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you guys soon.